Hey guys, I got a really solid build to show this time, but it's probably to no one's surprise because this is a Jugg with Earthquake plus Shockwave, so I attack once but I hit 4 times. And despite this slow attack speed, this is one of the fastest builds that I ever finished. Defeated Shaper at level 82, defeated Uber Elder at level 87 on the first try, deathless. This was the smoothest Uber Elder I have ever done, and I will include full Uber Elder fight at the end of the video if you want to see it. Also, again, despite slow attack speed, this was one of the fastest leveling builds as well, simply because I hit once and I hit all the enemies on the screen and one-shot them. The leveling speed may have also been influenced by running at least couple Coward's Trial maps. If you don't know, Coward's Trial got reworked and it now gives massive XP despite being only level 72 or whatever. It's tier 4 map. And with this massive AoE, I basically can just stand somewhere in the middle and just slam the ground without moving and killing all the enemies. Also, most of my builds are not really tanky, and I'm not used to making tanky builds, so my mindset is still kind of set on just damage and just surviving one-shots. So this is not really a thick Jugg, it's more like a thin Jugg or slim Jugg with very thick AoE. I only got 5 endurance charges, I have less than 6k life, but I'm level 87 only. But despite not having a lot of life, I do have a lot of fortify effect, which makes me a lot tankier. Now, other than Shockwave support gem, this is probably, I assume, pretty standard EQ Jugg build with a bit more focus on damage. The build wasn't really expensive. I only bought 6 linked Marohi for 3 exalts. This one also got some small rework. Instead of having increased AoE support gem inbuilt inside it, it now has level 15 pulverize, which slows attack speed a bit but also gives you more AoE and AoE damage. And you can still use increased AoE for more clear speed. The rest of the important items are helmet enchantment for 30% reduced earthquake duration, a belt with increased cooldown and recovery speed, very important, and the rest of items are up to you. I was using Carcass Jack for even more AoE, but it's not really mandatory, and you could get way more tankier if you got some different body armor. As always, in video description you can find timestamps and path for building import code. So I'll keep this pretty short, and the main thing I want to focus on is the earthquake and how it functions with the shockwave, and why you need cooldown and recovery speed belt and the helmet enchantment, and why I'm not using less duration on earthquake. So with earthquake you hit the ground and after 1 second it does the aftershock. Aftershock has much bigger damage, so you kind of want to proc it as frequently as possible. That's why you need helmet enchantment to reduce that duration. This duration or delay before the aftershock cannot be reduced with cooldown recovery speed, and can only be reduced with less skill effect duration. And if you hit the ground before aftershock happens, you will not proc another aftershock. So you have to kind of attack slow enough so that you only attack after the aftershock. And it's always been like this with earthquake. You had to time your attack speed with delay of the aftershock. However, in this case I also added the new Shockwave support gem. Now this Shockwave support gem also has a cooldown of 1 second base. With levels it does get cooldown recovery speed, and if you got cooldown recovery speed belt or boots, you will also reduce that cooldown even more. So you want Shockwave's cooldown to be a bit lower than the delay before the aftershock from earthquake. And if you do that, then on the first hit with earthquake you will also proc shockwave, and then the earthquake's aftershock will also proc another shockwave. So with one earthquake attack you can hit up to 4 times. Now the shockwave support gem visuals are a bit difficult to see and they are very fast, but the AoE of the shockwave is also pretty massive. And of course it scales with the same support gems linked to the same skill. So if you want some numbers with all 4 hits, fully boosted damage with all the flasks and other shenanigans, I'm dealing almost 900,000 damage against the Shaper with just one earthquake. And the shockwave itself does over 200,000 damage per hit. Now talking about links and skills, this is pure physical build, non-crit. You could do it as a Slayer and do as a crit build and you would have much more damage, but well, you wouldn't be Jugg, you wouldn't be as tanky. And the AoE doesn't seem to scale with weapon range. And of course you can use Vaal Earthquake, but I didn't use it, I just used normal Earthquake. So my Earthquake is linked with increased AoE, which I swapped to Conk effect for bossing. Then Shockwave, level 21 gives an extra radius, so it's pretty important to get level 21 Shockwave. Then Brutality, melee physical damage, and Fortify. Then for auras I have Flesh and and stone linked with Maim. If you didn't know, Maim adds an extra damage dealt against those enemies that are maimed by flesh and stone. Then I also got Pride, and all of them are linked with Enlighten level 3. And my helmet does have nearby enemies take 9% increased physical damage fossil craft. But I have to be pretty close to enemies and for 4 seconds to get all the damage buffs. I also have War Banner because it also increases physical damage done to those enemies. Molten Shell on self-cast when I feel like I'm about to take a big hit. It may not be the best, it may be better to have steel skin, but Molten Shell lasts a bit longer, so it's easier to time when you need it. Then I link Leap Slam with Blood Magic, Culling Strike and faster attacks, since I sometimes do have mana issues if I'm not hitting anything, so it's nice to have Blood Magic linked to your movement ability. I also have Blood Rage, but while mapping you may get too much attack speed. If you get Onslaught, if you get 3 Frenzy Charges and the Blood Rage, you may start attacking too fast and start skipping the after Shockwave. But that is not a real issue. You can just attack, sidestep, attack, sidestep. It's still not really smart to just face tank everything, since this isn't a thick jug. And this works pretty well for mapping, even against Legion enemies. You hit the ground somewhere, if there are enemies on the screen they will get hit and most likely get stunned, but just in case, just keep moving all the time. Attack, move, move. In my body armor I'll also have Vaal ancestral warchief. I wanted to 5 link it, but on the other hand, I don't really need it for damage. It's only there to give me damage buff. So I also added Vengeance with increased AoE and Culling Strike, just in case I would not have enough mana and it would proc it and it would leech back mana to me. It is just whatever. Oh, I do have Gloves with vulnerability on hit corruption, and one of the main issues while doing this build was getting enough intelligence and dexterity, without sacrificing too many passive points to get those attributes, because increased AoE support gem and Conk effect does need quite a lot of intelligence, and Carcass Jack also needs quite a lot of dexterity. So does faster attacks and Blood Rage. So I had to go out of my way and get quite a lot of attributes on Amulet, on rings, on some jewels. But like I said again, this is only level 87 and I could easily take more dexterity and intelligence on passive skill tree. But I kinda wanted to min-max this build and I guess I succeeded. An important thing to note, I do have Watcher's Eye, which gives me intimidate on hit while I'm using Pride Aura. But you don't really need this mod if you got the vulnerability on hit Tom Fist. However, with Tom Fist it may be difficult to cap your resistances, and they may be more expensive. And besides, AB jewels on this build aren't as good as normal jewels, because on AB jewels you can only get a bit of flat physical damage to attacks, and that's not as good as percentage increased damage. You already have a lot of flat damage and you don't really need more attack speed, so the only thing that I try to get on jewels are life, attributes, and physical damage leech as mana. Actually, that is mandatory to get some mana leech on something, and getting on jewel seems to be the easiest way. On a passive skill tree I also took Iron Reflexes because I'm using Carcass Jack and I wanted to get that ES converted into armor, so now I have 5000 armor base. And of course, since this is not a crit, I took Resolute Technique. I also do have 45 wheel nodes, and well, you can see the rest. And that is about all. Oh, the flasks. One of the flasks is Lance Roar, Sulfur Flask, and then the, well, Banana Flask, as I call it. Blood of the Karui Flask. And that is pretty much all. I'm gonna keep this build until the end of the league, I think, and switch to this build each time I need to defeat Uber Elder or some other bigger bosses that I can't deal with other builds. So for now, I leave you with the Uber Elder fight. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Let's do this. Slam, that's what I'm gonna do.
My mana is gone.
Yikes. My mana is gone. Oh, that's bad. No, that's a bad spot.
Embraced by misery. Gaze to the abyss.
Oy. Hey, portals. Oh shit. Mana, mana.
Embraced by misery.
Aha, going stack.
Mana is gone.
Holy shit. My first ever deathless Uber Elder kill. And I'm level 87. Cool. Except for the loot. Loot was not cool.